Alexa, turn Christmas off. Alexa, turn Christmas on. Up next on Bud's Odd Jobs, I'm going to show you how to automate your Christmas lights. As you've seen here, I can turn the Christmas lights on and off with a voice command. Additionally, I can turn them on and off automatically. I have a flow set up in Stringify that turns these Christmas lights on 15 minutes before sunset, and then sets a timer, leaves them on for 7.5 hours, and then automatically turns them off in the evening at about 12:30. I'll show you how to do that. That's up next here on Bud's Odd Jobs. Okay, so I have my Christmas lights set up on a Stringify routine. I have several videos showing how to connect Stringify to SmartThings, and also I have a video to show you how to connect Amazon Alexa to your SmartThings app. So with Amazon Alexa, I can just use voice commands to turn Christmas on and off, and that not only includes the lights in my living room, but also I have control of lights outside. So all my Christmas lights turn on either with the voice command saying Alexa, turn Christmas lights on, or I also have a routine in Stringify where it makes this all automated. It'll turn the lights on 15 minutes before sunset, and then it'll leave them on with a timer for 7.5 hours, and then turn them off at around 12:30 in the evening. I'm going to show you how to do all that in the app, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go into our Stringify app here, and I'm just going to click on that. And I have two buttons here, Christmas on and Christmas off. I'm going to show you quickly how to create those buttons. So you'll go into Things, and let me click on Things. And then you'll see inside Things this plus button. You'll want to click on the plus button there to add it. And down through, see where it says Button Scene? You'll want to click on that to add a button. So I'm going to click on that. I'll hit Connect Another. Okay, so first you just click on this area right here to enter a button name. And I'm just going to call this Test. And you can select a color for the button. So I'm just going to pick this orange color for the button. So we've done that. That's what it appears like. And I'm going to then hit Done up here at the top. So I'm going to go back to the main screen, and I'm going to create a flow. Okay, now here, so that's how you set up the button. That's how I set up turn Christmas on and turn Christmas off. These flows are real easy to set up. I'm going to show you by clicking on a couple of them that I set up. This turn Christmas on flow. So I select my turn Christmas button, and the way I did that is I clicked on this plus button down here, and I just selected it from the list. So you see the check mark there, and you just basically hit Done at the top, and then it's just a matter of taking that and moving it to the flow. So I'm not going to do that. I've already set it up in there. So let's go back to the flow, and then it's just a matter of putting the settings on. So when you press this button, something happens. That's your trigger. So we're going to hit Save. Okay, and then I added two other SmartThings devices. I added my porch lights and my living room Christmas lights. The Christmas lights I basically have on a smart switch, a smart plug that I put into the wall, and I put a multi-plug adapter on there so I can not only plug in my Christmas tree, but also my little lamp on the end table, and the decorative lamp that's next to the lamp there. So all those items will turn on at once with that smart switch. So here is that living room smart switch. I'm going to open that up by tapping on it. So the action is basically that you'll turn on that switch whenever that button is pushed. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. So that's pretty straightforward. On the porch lights, the action also is just basically turn on whenever that smart switch is. Now the options you have on this, if I go back, I can show you. So the actions you can select are turn on, turn off, set brightness, toggle, or fade on and off. I just set it to do this, just to turn on. So we'll save that. And that's it for setting up those buttons. I'm going to X out of this up here. I'm going to hit enable and close. And that's active now. So we'll go back, hitting this back arrow. So whenever I press this button here, you see it pressed, that turns Christmas on. It turns not only the living room lights on, but also it turns on the outside porch lights. And then when I press the green button, which I'll press now, you see the press there, that turns all those lights off. So that's how to do it manually, turn on and off the lights. With this setup, I've also enabled these scenes or routines in Alexa, so that's how I can use Alexa. I just basically tell her to turn the lights Christmas on or turn Christmas off, and it'll do that within the Alexa app as well. Okay, at this point I want to show you how I set up the automated flow. So let's go back to flows. This flow here is the one I want to show you. It's Christmas lights on and off. So this is the entire flow, the way it's set up. It looks complicated, but it's not. I'm going to first click on the date time. So basically the date time, I started this on December 6th, and I want it to end on January 15th. So what this says is basically 15 minutes before sunset, turn Christmas on. And repeat that every day. So I'm going to go ahead and save that setting. And basically down here what it's doing is checking to ensure that the trigger is off. If I go back, so this is a condition when the trigger is off. So that's a conditional statement. So if it's 15 minutes before sunset and it checks to find that the porch lights are off, then it's going to run both of these routines. There's a porch light routine, and down here's a living room light routine. And all these routines are doing is basically turning the light on. That's what this does. Sets the timer for 7.5 hours, and then turns the Christmas lights off in the living room. Same thing on the front porch. It turns the front porch lights on, sets a timer for 7.5 hours, and then turns the front porch light off. We haven't looked at this timer before. This is one of the native routines within Stringify that you can call into a procedure. And basically, I've showed you how to call these in before. I'm going to hit this plus button. And if we scroll down, here's the timer down here. So when you select this timer, you can hit done here up at the top, and then you'll see it in here. It's available that you can add to your routine. As I told you previously, these routines are in steps. So this is the first step. This is the step where it checks to determine whether the timing is correct and whether the lights are off. Assuming that step is true, then it'll turn the porch lights on, then it'll start the timer and wait for 7.5 hours, and then once the 7.5 hours are complete, it'll turn off. So I want to look at this. Each of these timers, they're set up exactly the same. So when you set these up, you hit start the timer, and then you just select how long you want the timer to run, and then just go down here and hit save. And that's it. And then once that timer has expired, then it'll turn the switch off. As you can see here, it's turned off. And let me zoom in on that. So there you can see the various steps. When sunset, up here, the porch lights fade on, the timer starts, and then the front porch lights turn off. And that's pretty much it. It's very easy to set up these flows once you get the hang of it. So I'm going to close out of here, and we'll hit enable and close. It sensed I made some changes there, and then we'll go back to the main menu. And I'll use this as an opportunity to thank you for watching today, and just wanted to say that you need to check out the videos if you don't know how to set this Stringify up with SmartThings. I've got a video out there that shows how to set it up. I also have other videos out there that explain how I use Stringify to control several of my garage door routines that I've set up, and so you should check those out as well. There is also a video out there that explains how to set up SmartThings with your Alexa devices so that you can control these routines with voice commands. And I'll leave links, like I said, below for all these various videos. So to wrap up, I want to thank you for watching today. We'll see you next time. Take care. Alexa, turn Christmas off.